The show is made possible in part by its supporting sponsors: Blue Water Power Group of Companies, Joe's Discount Tire, and AskGuy.ca. This is a cozy one. I got to tell you, I'm downtown at That's What She Grows, and we've got a special background here, and it's all about what That's What She Grows. It's very, very cozy, and this young lady here, Nikki Amber, thank you so much for creating this space for us here today.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me. It's actually a really nice, cozy space. I might just leave it like this.
Yeah, it's very welcoming. We've got so much to talk about. I know you just had a fundraiser recently, as of recording this. That was yesterday. So the fact that you're here, like, because that's a lot of work. You're tired out after yesterday?
Yeah, I'm pretty tired. The fundraiser takes about 10 months of planning.
Oh, wow.
This year I did all the planning alone. We didn't have anyone on our committee. So it was actually a lot of work, but it's very rewarding, and it really brings the community together.
Yeah.
And seeing how everyone is just so happy at the event, socializing, mingling, meeting new people, getting new plant babies. It's such a rewarding experience.
Cool. Talk about what the event was about and what it supports.
Yeah, so the Sarnia Plant Swap benefits the John Howard Society of Sarnia. It's our second annual event, so it's still kind of kicking off and getting its traction. I think that next year is going to be so much more better as we work a lot of the current beginning struggles out, which actually hasn't been too bad, to be honest. A lot of it just spreading the word and letting people know that this event is going on.
Right.
And it was a lot of fun. We had a lot of different people coming out and supporting. We do raffles, so people give us sponsorship prizes.
Okay.
And then we have like a couple $1,000s in prizes that we donate as well as get from other local businesses.
And what's the John Howard Society, for those that maybe don't know? Why did you support them?
I support them because they're really close to home for me. They support people who have been incarcerated that also want to do better in their lives, and they need the resources in order to do something. Like, everyone needs someone to help them, and for people who really don't have anyone else, that's the John Howard Society. They offer a lot of courses such as anger management classes. They also have their Sarnia Lambton Alliance Against Hate. So if you feel like you've been discriminated against for any reason, they're there to support you as well. They're a safe space. They have like fruits and stuff like that they'll give to people if they're hungry. There's just so many amazing benefits that they have to our community, and not a lot of people know that they exist.
So you're very community oriented, obviously, and you believe in giving back into your community and supporting people in general. You're of the belief then that it takes a community to raise a child, or just to support each other in general then.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of that came from, because I actually grew up in foster care.
Okay.
Yeah, and so that's part of why the John Howard Society is really close to me, is they have a lot of services that I wish I had when I was younger, growing up as kind of an angry child in the system.
Okay.
I learned a lot. It really helped me become who I am today, but that's something that I want to encourage other people to utilize their services.
Right. Was foster care a positive experience for you?
It was a positive and a negative experience.
Okay.
Sometimes it can be good, sometimes it can be not, right? So I was in the system for quite some time, and I put myself there just because the home situation wasn't ideal.
Okay.
And I worked with lots of different counselors and therapists and social workers and youth workers, and they, for the most part, were actually pretty great. The homes themselves are not.
Okay.
As one would imagine, you meet a lot of different kinds of people. Sometimes they care, sometimes they don't. It's about finding the right home where you really mesh with the foster parent. Currently, my last foster mom, I lived with her for years and years and years. She lives in Saskatchewan. I still went on a road trip and I went and visit her.
Nice.
Yeah, she's actually where I get my entrepreneurial spirit from.
Oh, is that right? Why? Yeah. What is that? What does she do?
So I believe she was a PSW or a nurse or some sort like that, and then she was a full-time foster mom. She really took great care of us, but she is a whippersnapper for sure. I love her. She's so funny. Rides motorcycles.
Oh, cool. I
Yeah.
ride a motorcycle.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we had a Yamaha V-Star Classic.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
Yeah, it was really cool. So she dropped me off at baseball classes and my baseball team with the motorcycle, and she taught me how to bake everything from scratch. Everything was from
Okay.
scratch. Yeah. So she really taught me a lot of really great life skills and what a really caring and loving family can be and how supportive it is. She's such an amazing woman.
And how old were you when you went into the foster system?
I was in grade 6 or 7.
Okay, so very young.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now here you are. You're originally from BC.
Yep.
And what brought you to Sarnia then?
So what brought me to Sarnia? There's a lot of changes in my life. I was like 19 when I moved here.
Oh, wow.
I'd never really been anywhere. I'd visited Ontario once before to Sarnia, because at the time I was dating someone who was from Sarnia.
Okay.
And he moved back here after a few years, and we were doing long distance. And then my grandfather passed away.
No, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we were very close. And so I was at his bedside, and then it was really hard on me. So the family, it was really hard on our whole family, to be honest. So
Okay.
My significant other at the time was like, hey, do you want to move to Sarnia since you're having such a struggle there? And I was like, absolutely. I packed up my bags. Literally, I packed up 2 suitcases. I flew WestJet all the way here.
Oh, wow.
And I was just started my new life in First St. Thomas for several months. And then we found a place in Sarnia.
Okay. All right. And what was your employment before you came here? Like, what were you doing to generate your income before you started what we're going to talk about next?
Yeah, so it's actually funny. I like to do a lot of different things. What I find is that I'm really good at a lot of different things. Anything that I put my mind to, I'm actually really quite well at. Especially anything particular to detail. I used to do very nice drawings and stuff. Nothing to do with work. That was for fun. I worked at Starbucks for a while. Straight out of college, I got a job with sheet metal fabrication. I went to college for sheet metal fabrication.
Oh, nice.
For doing HVAC. Yeah, and then I got a job at Westgar Industries out in Port Coquitlam. I worked there for a couple of years. Amazing job, amazing company. I loved it. But as being like more of a smaller woman, and I was much smaller at the time, it's a lot of heavy lifting.
Oh, right. The physical side of it.
It is a very physical side. And then I realized too, it really wasn't my scene because I was like doing my hair and cute, and everyone is just like, you got to wear earplugs, and everyone's getting dirty and messy, and like we're just exhausted at the end of the day. I was making really good money out of school, but it was also quite a commute, and I didn't have a car at the time.
Oh, wow. So how did you pull that off? Like carpooling or?
No, I took the transit.
Oh, okay.
So out there, transit's amazing. Like the SkyTrain and the bus system, like they go by every 5 minutes.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're very reliable and dependable. So that's amazing. I really wish we had something similar here, but Sarnia is so small.
Yeah, I know. We got a nice transit system. I mean, you can get on a bus now and go to London on it.
I took
and
actually.
Petrolia and Stratford.
I did the intercity link to the airport.
Oh, okay. How was that?
It was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great for the price you save. You're not charged so much in gas and parking. Like parking is astronomical when you're flying, because you're charged per day. And so if you're going away for a week, like.
So you like to travel?
Yeah.
Is that part of your? Yeah. Where have you been?
I've been quite a few places. I only really started traveling when I hit 30.
Okay.
It's my 30th birthday. I wanted to do something big. My birthday basically falls on Thanksgiving. No one else wanted to celebrate with me. And I was like, I am going to Las Vegas.
Oh, good for you.
Not much of a gambler, not much of a drinker, but I was like, apparently it's the place to be. So,
did you enjoy it?
I loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah, my girlfriend Bettina from North Vancouver, she flew out there.
Oh, cool.
She met up with me, and I have another friend that has a townhouse out there that he doesn't use. So,
okay.
Yeah, let me stay there for free.
Free's good.
With my girlfriend, and yeah, we were just running around, taking our selfies and exploring the area. It was pretty fun.
Yeah. Well, here we are. That's what she grows, and we had some fun before we started. I always call it the pre-interview, which is kind of like I come in and you had like a candy floss machine going. I had some candy, cotton candy, I haven't had cotton candy since I was like a wee boy, so you just you took me back there. But like this space that we're in, there's so much going on, and yet, is this organized chaos for you?
Yeah,
Yeah,
right
right.
now it's really chaotic. Post fundraiser chaos. So we've got plants everywhere.
Yeah,
We've
we'll
got,
take some B-roll and show that. But yeah,
and then so he walks in and I wasn't paying attention at the time, and I'm just sitting here making cotton candy and filming. Right?
right.
So I warned him I'm strange. I'm a little unique. So
That's okay. Unique is good. What is weird anyway? We were talking about that. Like, I don't even know the definition of weird. You messaged me that you're like, I get a little weird when I'm nervous, and I'm like, what's there to be nervous? We're just gonna have a conversation, right? But so what is the business you're in? Like, what is the title that you would call what you do?
yeah, so the business is That's Where She Grows. And I like to import, I have a passion for plants, and
Yeah.
particularly I like to import plants. And I like to have things that are unique that other people don't really have. And what I'm really passionate about is the fact that now that I've been doing it, it's really encouraged all the other greenhouses and businesses to get in a better selection of plants.
Oh, okay.
Also, with the new tissue culture hitting the craze, these rare plants are becoming more accessible for the everyday person, which is amazing. So you're getting plants that were like 3 years ago, they'd be like $500 for like this little dinky thing. And now you're getting them for super cheap. Like, just as an example, I just happen to have this sitting here. This Monstera Thai constellation. A, a little plant this size, like 3 years ago, would have cost you like $600.
Seriously?
Yeah, but now that they're in tissue culture, and you can tell when they're tissue culture because they're all in the same pots, they're all the same size. Tissue culture is the process of taking a little piece of the leaf and putting it in some agar material mixed with some nutrients. And those cells basically duplicate themselves, and you get hundreds and thousands of plants. They all have the same genetics. They all come from the same genetic code. So they're really not diverse, but it's a really quick way to get a lot of plants for inexpensive. I anticipate that these plants are going to be like 10, $20 by the end of summer.
Really?
Yeah. So
I just never, you said $600. Like, I couldn't imagine spending that on, like, and I'm, obviously I don't know anything about it. So I'm just like, it's a plant. To me, I look at it, that's a plant, that's a plant. I get there's a lot more to it than that, right? But I remember Jennifer and I walked in here a little while ago. She got some plants for her aquarium from you. You got a little bit of everything here, but I was like just totally awed by your store, and then going like, wow, like I wouldn't have thought there was a market in Sarnia for something like this. How did you figure out that there was?
well, I didn't actually. Everything according to the city's studies that they sent me when I opened my store was like, there really isn't a market downtown for that, because downtown is, people really want to go out and walk around and do activities together,
Yeah.
right? Whereas I sell houseplants,
Right.
but we also ship Canada wide.
Okay, so you
Right.
have an online business attached to
Yeah,
this.
we have an online business, and we're more than just plants. We're education. We teach people that think that they don't know how to take care of plants, and they leave with so much information. They'll come in and buy like a $5 or $10 plant, but they leave with so much information on how to take care of all of their plants and how to best suit them. And I think that's really important to me, because for me, I just want people to be able to grow a lush green garden and help our environment, help our planet, right? Everything to offset our
Right.
carbon footprint, I think helps. Like having even a couple of large palms or anything like that really improves your air quality, removing formaldehyde and benzene. Even the microbes in the soil help produce oxygen.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a lot of studies from NASA. They're really cool.
I see it. Now, could you teach a guy like me? Like, I'm the guy that says, don't let me babysit your plants because I don't even know how to water them or whatever. Like, is that the educational piece there? If somebody walks into your store and said, listen, I don't really know anything about this, but I find it interesting because I've heard people talk, whatever. You could start them off on the right foot.
Oh, absolutely. You don't even have to ask me. I'll just start telling you. Like, whether you feel like you know how to take care of a plant or not, I'll just start telling you how we take care of it specific. Because when a plant is also used to a certain kind of care, you can have two same plants, but if they're both used to different kinds of care, they're going to have slightly different requirements, right? Like if a plant is used to just being soaking wet all the time, it's established its roots in order to accommodate for having like a really wet soil.
Right.
If you let your plant dry out more, then it's going to have its roots and everything more like dedicated to staying more dry and absorbing as much water as it can when it gets it, right? And so they all have their unique personalities.
Right.
So we'll just like tell people like unsolicited, we'll be like, this is how we take care of this one. This is how we recommend you taking care of it. This is the lighting requirements, the water requirements, pretty much everything here. We just water on a 1 weekly basis.
Right.
Right. So you don't have to worry about it. We have a Facebook group that reminds you every week to water your plants.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, you can put a reminder on your phone and all that stuff, right?
Yeah, but then you'll just be like, oh, whatever. But on Facebook, because so many people spend so much time on Facebook. I
know, right? Don't we?
It comes up in big letters and it says, heads up, here's your weekly water to... No one else uses the group for anything else. They literally just use it as a reminder to water their plants. There you go.
Whatever works, right? Now, is this just indoor stuff? Do you do outdoor plants too, or?
Not so much. We predominantly do indoor tropicals. The reason for that is because there's a large a number of greenhouses that do outdoors already.
Yeah, right.
And with having a small space, outdoor tropicals, but outdoor houseplants have more pests because they're outdoors.
Right. Yeah, right? Makes sense.
So we treat ours here naturally with predatory mites and ladybugs to make sure they don't have pests.
Right.
So if we're bringing all these big outdoor plants inside, we could potentially be affecting our houseplants.
Right. You kind of crushed me there before we started. We were talking about ladybugs, and like I just thought there's ladybugs and they're nice. Ladybug, fly away home. And you're telling me they're a predator.
Oh yeah, ladybugs are
killers.
Predators. Ladybugs are the best predators like on the market. They're general predators, so they're great for aphids. Aphids is their #1 favorite food.
Oh wow. Yeah. What is that?
Aphid? It's a little soft-bodied insect that preys on the leaves and stems of plants, but when you get them, like they are in droves. They reproduce so rapidly, and they'll just demolish your whole plant. So if you release ladybugs, and one thing that I think is so fun about ladybugs is they're actually a crawling insect. They're not actually I wouldn't consider them a flying insect because they spend more of their time crawling than flying.
I never would have. Yeah, I wouldn't have thought of that.
So the only time that they fly is if they have no food or water.
Oh.
Or if it's mating season.
Really?
Yeah. So if you put them on a plant where they have a food source, they're not just going to fly away. Because people are like, oh, I want ladybugs in my yard, but if I release them, they're just going to fly everywhere. Like they're going to stay on that plant until they do their job.
Maybe that comes from that nursery rhyme. We were trained a ladybug, fly away home. Your house is on fire and your children are alone. Have you ever heard that one?
No.
I'm much older. That's what we said when we were kids, right? It was we'd find a ladybug and we'd play with it and we'd put it in our bug keeper or whatever. I never thought of it as a killer predator, right?
Yeah, and then after the insects are gone that it's finished eating, it actually eats pollen and they pollinate too, right?
Wow.
So there's just so many good benefits to them. So we use them in our store.
Yeah, I was going to say, you were talking about how people come in and buy them from you.
Yeah, you can use them outside, you can use them inside, and it's wonderful. Like they're not grown, for the entomologists, they're not like grown or reproducing or breeding in a lab. They're actually harvested outside.
Okay.
So they have to really make sure that there's a large supply available or else you won't be able to get them for sale.
Okay.
Right. So they'll only harvest and sell them when there's a really abundance of ladybugs that year. So sometimes you can't even get them.
Okay. So you got your store downtown. You've been here about 3 years now. Is that right?
Yeah, we just celebrated our 3-year anniversary.
Yeah. What was that like finding the right location? Was downtown important to you for a reason, or were you just looking for affordable? What were all the variables that made you pick where you are now?
Downtown is really important to me because when I think of downtown, I think of art walk and street closures and vibrancy and people just like rollerblading and bicycling and having a good time. When I first moved here, actually, I rented a house on Davis Street. I didn't know anything about Sarnia or the areas or what's a good area, what's a bad area or anything like that. Well, I found out real quick. So I moved downtown when I first lived here. And so I love being by the water. It reminds me of home. It reminds me of Vancouver, BC. I grew up on the water and in White Rock, and it's nostalgic to me to be by the water, and so I like it. Unfortunately, they just haven't been doing any anything down here. So I actually joined the City Hall Downtown Revitalization Committee.
Okay, nice.
So that we can try and
Revitalize.
let's make downtown great again.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we're getting information from like all of the people. Everyone's input is valid.
Yeah.
We want to hear from everyone and what they want to see, what will bring people downtown.
What do you want to see? What do you think is missing that you want to add into to make downtown great again?
I want the businesses to all talk to each other and get along, and they know that. I've talked to all of them majority of the time, and I try to get everyone to work together so we can do events together and have fun and have like it really more organized. So because I want to have like a website where people can be like, let's go to a shop downtown. Are they open? Are they closed? What sales do they have going on? And so that's something that I'm hoping for in the future. A little tidbit there. And there's just so many wonderful things that I want. Like I want the vibrancy. I want people to come downtown. I want murals and lights and people to feel like it's a welcome and safe space for them. That's what I like to create, is a welcome, safe space for everybody. Yeah.
And then there's challenges with that, you know, with we've got quite a homelessness issue going on, and opioid and some other stuff. What are you seeing there downtown? Are you how do we work that out?
I don't have the popular opinion on this crisis, and it is a crisis of what's going on, and it's sad. But as someone who comes from a background of drug abuse between my family and myself, and someone who like has overcome that obstacle by myself, I understand that you can't give these people everything and expect them to just turn around their lives. You can't just give them food and a home and think that it's going to make everything better. Right? Because then they're just going to be like, yay, I have food and I have a house. Why do I need to change my lifestyle? Right?
That's
so
fair.
You need to want help. And that's another reason why we support the John Howard Societies, because they offer a lot of different services to help these people. Right? And so if they want help, they're there. Sarnia does have a lot of amazing services.
Agreed.
And they're underutilized. A lot of people need them. I think just giving the people on the streets stuff doesn't solve problems. Having a community.
It's kind of like a book, right? You know, it's like, here's the book on how to. You can read that 20 times, but if you don't apply it, if you don't take action, I'm a big mindset guy. You know, if you got to change this up here before you can change what's happening
1,000%
outside of you, right? And do we need more of that?
Exactly. Our world around us is literally just imaginative. It's everything that we've made up in our own minds.
That's
your world and how you perceive everything. And I learned that because I used to be a very angry kid, because I grew up with a very rough life. People don't think that. Like when they see me, I'm sure that they see, oh, like she's privileged, but no, I grew up.
No. You're just fun and calm and nice and weird, like you said.
Well, I don't mean that. I used to be really shy.
Yeah, is that right?
Yeah, and then one day, it's a mindset thing. One day I decided I wanted to be social, and I go up and I'll be the first person to compliment women, or I'll be like, you know what, I love your hair, your boots. Like I love telling people what I appreciate about them. Because I think that more people need to feel appreciated.
People like hearing that.
And everyone goes through a struggle. Everyone has a struggle.
I know. Somebody said to me a long time ago, you'll never hurt anybody's feelings by doing this to them. You know, give them a little pat on the back and the compliment. I know, like if I don't have it on today, but if I get a compliment on a tie, you know, the next time I go to my closet, it's the first tie I see. Right? And it's like your friend Eric, who was in here helping us out, and he said, oh, I really like your rings and I love your jacket. Now, the next time I go, I'm going to be like, I got to wear that jacket. No, because it doesn't matter who you are. It makes you feel special.
It does, yeah.
You know? And we all kind of are special in our own way. Don't you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. Everyone has their unique gifts that they can give to the world. And people that are down on their luck, I feel like they also don't understand like their unique gifts or what makes them special. I feel like everyone has something to contribute to society. You just have to really help bring it out in them, and stuff and things isn't going to do that. What that does is when you give people like that, like stuff and things, it becomes garbage on the streets that we're having to clean up in front of our shops, and it encourages them to stay in these areas because they're like, well, I get free stuff, right? So there's definitely needs to be something done, but there isn't really a solution.
Well, there's no one answer to it. I mean, because I think every situation is unique. But you think that's an unpopular opinion, what you're saying? You kind of said that at the beginning, I'm of the unpopular opinion.
Yeah, there's a lot of people in Sarnia that haven't really, I feel like they haven't really had the experience with the homeless population or drug abuse or anything like that. Like I've lived in abandoned houses before.
Yeah.
During winters and stuff in BC. And
wow.
Yeah, I've had a very interesting life. If anyone wants to talk about it, you're welcome to come out. Pretty open book.
Do tell.
Oh, there's a lot. There's a lot to unpack.
We're going to do a series on Nikki.
The series, the book series. If there's any publishers. No.
There you go. What made you say, start my own business, not work for somebody else?
Oh, also, so I spent 15 years in customer service for major corporations. And I ended up being a supervisor at a call center and things like that. And I love helping other people, but also you see all kinds of stupid. Right? So it's,
lots of stupid out
there. So I've learned how to deal with a lot of different things. I have a very strong backbone. I don't take anything personally. So customer service and working with people is great. Plus, who's mad when they're buying houseplants, right? So it's pretty much... It's pretty much a dream come true.
Well, there's that one guy.
Actually, there is.
Right. No, but you're right. I would imagine most people walk in here, they're happy. It's plants. Like and they have a vibrancy to them as well.
So I feel like it's helping contribute to people's mental health, de-stressing, keeping them with better oxygen, a cleaner environment for them. And so I feel like it's a good service. And if people also don't feel like they're good at plants, we have a service where we come into your home or business and we'll find the plants that'll suit your location based on watering preferences.
Oh, really?
If you go on vacation a lot, if you overwater, underwater, if you have bright light, no light, and focus on air purifying. I also write blogs for local La Paz magazine every once in a while on pet safe plants.
Oh, nice.
So we always keep a good selection of like a couple of pet safe plants that you can have.
I like that you mentioned that it's got a mental health attachment to it because in our home, I'll have to bring you over and show you. Jennifer will love to show it off, but she's got a couple aquariums, and then she's got plants all around the room. There's a dining room table in the middle of it all, but and then we've got a little tiny couch in there, and there's times like she just leaves the rest of the house and goes in that room, and it's like, leave me alone. She's relaxed, the stress is gone, and it's just that room with the plants and the water's got a very calming effect to it as well, right? And the fish and everything. She loves her fish, but I never really associated that with mental health before, but I see that a little bit more now.
Yeah, nature and mental health are absolutely important. Especially like everyone talks about mental health walks, right? And what are you doing? You're getting into nature.
Yeah.
So if you create an environment in your home where you don't feel like you have to escape from, and you surround yourself with like lush greenery that's producing clean oxygen, removing the formaldehyde and benzene that I mentioned, and you just feel like you can take a deep breath and relax, right? When you meditate, you're thinking of you're by the ocean or you're in a forest, right? You're surrounded by nature. So I like to try and help people create that environment at their home, right? And just everyone needs to settle down. We live in a very fast environment.
Settle down and slow down.
Settle down, slow down. Yeah, you know what I mean. I always misplace words. It's part of my Nikki charm. I've actually been pretty good during like this conversation. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes I say weird things. A lot of the times I say weird things.
Just be you.
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
You mentioned that earlier, actually. You're like, I'm just me, and I don't really care what anybody thinks about me. If they don't like it, like, yeah, that's too bad. Do you think more of us should have that philosophy?
Absolutely. If you feel like you're a good human being, like at heart, like I do, I have a really good relationship with Creator, my God, Gaia, all of it. Like I have a very good karma, I feel like. I do a
Hmm.
lot of good in the world. I do a lot of contributing. I don't talk about most of it, because that brings me back to being shy,
Yeah. You're not
right?
looking for the accolades. You're just doing it because it's who you
No, I
are.
just like being a good and genuine human being, and if I can help other people, I can, but also I do it in a way that I feel like if I'm genuinely benefiting someone, because it's the whole like catch a fish versus teach a man to fish versus give a man a fish,
Right, right.
right? So I like to teach people how to take care of themselves. And if someone's down on their luck, I'm the first person that will like take the shit off my back and give it to them.
Right, right, right.
So
You have another business, or is it still existing, or it's just a part of who you are now, Sphynx? And I remember walking in, and there was a couple sitting over there, and at first I was like, oh, it wasn't something I was expecting, but
yeah.
there was a shaved cat, I called them.
Yeah, they're sweet. That's a passion project at the moment, is what I call it. So, I've been against breeding my whole life, which is very contradictory, but I've learned that if you do it in a certain way, it can be beneficial, because I don't really like to add more animals into the universe. There's so many that need to be adopted.
Right.
And I've worked with, caregiver of Petrolia Ferals. I like to try and support the Humane Society as well. And I end up getting a Sphynx cat because I'm really allergic to house cats.
Okay.
I'm super allergic. I live in an apartment. I don't want to have a dog because I think it'd be mean to the dog. I'm
Hmm.
gone a lot. And I did a lot of research, and I was like, I think a Sphynx cat is for me. And even though they're very pricey, and I was like, I don't know if I can afford it.
Hmm.
I wanted companionship and make the environment good for this animal, right? A dog in an apartment, I don't think it's ideal.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Limited space.
yeah,
And
with the
all that.
cats, they have like cat wheels, automatic litter boxes, everything is, they're water fountains, they're spoiled. And I can take them out for walks and I bring them to the store. But so when I realized how truly remarkable hairless cats are, they're like having a dog. These things just love you. Like they greet me at the door as soon as I come in. They're like, "Mom."
Oh, yeah.
They look like they're mad all the time, but they are the complete opposite. They look angry, but they absolutely love people.
How did you discover them?
I don't recall. I think it was just online somewhere. I just saw a naked cat, and at first I had the same reaction as everyone
I
else.
saw
I'm
a
like,
naked
why?
cat.
And like I do, I like to do research, right? So
Yeah.
I like to learn as much as I can about different topics. I was like, why do people like these cats? I want to dive into this.
Yeah.
Why do they keep them? What makes them special? And then when people were saying that they're so much smarter than a regular cat, and I was
Oh, yeah.
watching, you can teach them tricks.
Really?
Oh, absolutely. My one girl does high five. I put my hand down, high five. She jumps up and smacks me in the hand. I give her a snack.
Really?
She loves it. She loves the interaction. She loves getting snacks. Like, it's a bonding experience.
Yeah.
And I wanted to share this joy with other people who have the same issues that I do. A lot of people live in apartments. A lot of people live in small spaces,
Hmm.
and they don't want to deal with having hair on their clothes, which is a big thing
That's
for
why
me.
we don't have a cat. Like I know Jennifer's always, oh, this one's so cute and this one that, and I'm like, no, and everybody knows. David's like, no, no, no. Oh, I heard you're getting a cat. Fake news. So she's gonna see this now, but and go, maybe I don't know.
Well, Jennifer, we have a new set of kittens being born, and they're going to be ready for August, so we got you.
We'll see. Interesting. Yeah, I didn't know you could like teach them tricks and everything.
Oh, and they cuddle like my one peachy girl. I call it a peachy day when I bring her to work on our Instagram. I'll be like, it's a peachy day because I bring her in. And she just likes to cuddle in my arms all the time. She likes to be a baby. And then at nighttime when we're sleeping, she just sleeps in my arm. She doesn't get up at all throughout the night. Every cat is different, right? They
Yeah.
all have different personalities. But because she was my only cat, she really adopted my lifestyle. Oops,
Okay.
I'm hitting the...
No, that's all right.
Yeah, so she really adopted my lifestyle, and so she gets up with me in the morning, she sleeps throughout the night. She doesn't get into anything. She is like the picture perfect thing, but she is actually, don't tell her I told you this, She is the ugliest out of all of my Sphynxes. She's not for breeding. She was my first Sphynx. She's
Right.
fixed.
Out
But
of all of them, how many do you have?
I have 3 Sphynx.
3. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want more?
Well, I do. I get them when they get babies,
Yeah.
and then I raise them, and then I find them incredible homes.
Yeah.
And I get to watch them grow up. The most amazing part is we have had so many of our customers create their own personalized Instagram accounts for
Yeah.
their Sphynxes. Charlie the Sphynx, he's one of them. He's a character. And then there's Nala the Nude. She's in Sarnia. Danica owns her, and she is a photographer and a very creative woman. If you've had the opportunity to meet Danica, she's so sweet.
Okay.
And she takes such good pictures. Nala has different colored eyes, and she's white. She's so pretty. She's so pretty. So
You can tell it makes you happy. You're smiling from ear to ear when you're talking about the
I
Sphynx,
get
and
to watch them grow
you
up.
get a lot of joy out of it.
And I tell people, I'm like, we provide lifetime of support. If for any reason they feel like they need help trimming their nails or teaching to bathe them, we provide people all of the tools necessary in order to properly care for their animals. Because finding them a proper good home is important. And then so what I also do is, which each litter, I like to have a local cat's spay and neuter done. So if someone feels like they can't afford to spay or neuter their cat, then I will use some of the funds from the Sphynx sales, which isn't much because they take a lot of care when you're doing it properly. They eat a lot of high quality food.
Okay.
I take that funds and I'll pay for a local spay or neuter for someone that feels like they can't afford it.
You're like the female Bob Barker. Do you know who Bob Barker was?
Price is Right?
Yeah. He was a big advocate for pets, and at the end of every Price is Right, he'd say, control the pet population, have your animal spayed or neutered.
I used to watch Price is Right, and I never recalled that, but maybe that's why it's ingrained into my mind.
Maybe long before Drew Carey.
Yeah, it's just so important to me because I feel
there's a lot of critters running around out there that
so many. Yeah, I miss the days that the Humane Society did dollar door days for spay and neuters. They used to have volunteers, and I used to do this. I would stand outside of a door, and the premise was you'd give $1 for each time you go into a place.
Okay.
And all that money went to the Humane Society. And I don't know what happened with that program. I really liked it. And so it's just my little way of giving back, because every cat can have 3 litters a year, and they can have up to 12 cats, a domestic cat.
Okay.
And within those 12 cats, once they hit 6 months of age, they can start reproducing. So this is what happens when people let their cats out, because I know in Sarnia this happens a lot. People tell me their partner is like, oh, our cat's in heat. One of them gets annoyed because it's howling, so they just let it outside because they can't sleep.
Right. Get it out of their system.
And then it goes outside and has outdoor babies, or people have babies in their homes and then they're giving them away or selling them for $50 unfixed, unneutered, and people don't want to spend the money to get them fixed.
Yeah.
And I understand and I can appreciate not having funds to have them fixed, but also we have to do what's right for the animal population. On a regular basis, I'm seeing cats hit on the side of the roads, and they get eaten by coyotes. They do not live quality lives when they're out on their own. So we really need to help by spaying and neutering. It's very important. And if
sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, and if you can't afford it, then reach out to people who can, right? And try and get the help. GoFundMe, or reach out to me if you need a spay or neuter done and you can't afford it. Let me know and I'll start a list. I've done a few in the community already.
Nice.
Yeah.
Humane Society, give them a shout out as well. They're always doing things that they can to support that community. I know they just had a big fundraiser there too for lunches, and that sold out. So and they're getting ready to build a new facility. They're working on that. So they're growing. So I know they're aware, but maybe that's an idea you could throw back at them and say, hey, why don't you do the dollar thing again?
Oh yeah, they're really busy with a lot of different programs. We were trying to do, I was on a very brief committee with them too. We were trying to do a Valentine's fundraiser, but there was an exchange of hands and that one just didn't end up going through. So, there's a lot of busy parts and everyone needs a lot of volunteers.
Yeah.
Right? Especially
Right.
for fundraisers, it takes a lot. It takes a lot of effort, and it
Yeah.
really takes a whole community to do these events to raise money. And part of the process is if people get their animals spayed and neutered, or if your cat is in heat, don't put it outside. It's a simple fix. Like, yeah, it's annoying. Call me. I will literally house your howling cat. Like,
There you go. There's some offers.
for like a week or two. Well, when a cat goes into heat, they go into different cycles, and they can be kind of annoying for up to a week, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And it is
I
frustrating.
remember I had cats when I was younger. Like I lived on my own. I was like 18 or whatever, right? And yeah, I had one cat. Dolly was her name. She was a beautiful Persian cat.
You have to show me pictures after.
This was long before we had phone cameras. This was 30 years ago, a while ago. I'm old.
Oh no, I remember back in the day, like I was so obsessed with my little Kodak camera because we didn't have like phones on our cameras on our little pocket phones. I'm getting up there in age too, so I look
whatever.
I look younger than I am.
Yeah, you got lots of cameras around. Like she's got the camera on us here. We were taking pictures. She got cameras over here on other plants. And
you guys got to see our mushrooms. We're growing premium mushrooms, and actually these are some of the events we're going to be doing this summer. We have a collaboration with Mini Mushroom Farm. They're another Canadian business. They're a small business, and I like to support small businesses.
Yeah.
So I tried their products in December, and I fell in love with it. I've never grown mushrooms in my life, and I'm getting pounds of mushrooms off this thing.
So like growing mushrooms to eat?
Yeah, they're culinary.
Really?
So I like frying them up with like garlic butter, or I made a mushroom soup, and the flavor and the texture are just
oh my gosh. I love mushrooms, so
I'm gonna give you some to take because you can see I got lots and they're amazing.
Oh, I just don't. I'll try.
They're so good.
I'm afraid that I don't want to. Can you kill mushrooms? Because I don't want to.
You just no, I'll give you one to take home and cook.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Yeah, you just take it home, and you or Jennifer can saute them up or make them.
Will do it.
Yeah,
I burn water. I don't cook.
They're amazing. Like honestly, I was sauteing the mushrooms to put in a recipe, and I couldn't stop eating them.
Oh wow!
So I found this company, and they have such an amazing product. Their customer service is really what stands out.
Okay.
Their customer service is phenomenal, and so we're actually working together, and we're going to be doing an event coming up. We haven't told anyone about this yet.
Okay.
So the event is May 18th. It's on a Saturday, and it's going to be a grow your own mushroom kit. So you get the whole kit with the humidity dome. You get the mushroom block, one of 4 different varieties. There's blue oysters, Nevada blues, lion's mane, or pink oysters. And you get the mister and then the little thing that tells you the temperature and humidity. And we walk you through setting up the whole thing. We tell you about all the different things that can happen, the reasons why they happen. We set you up for success.
Okay.
Basically. And you get to meet other people that like mushrooms. We can share recipes and tell you about our failures. I tried to make a barbecued pulled pork mushroom. Don't take liberties with recipes.
Okay.
So instead of using ketchup, I used tomato paste, which is a lot bitter. It's very bitter.
Okay.
Compared to ketchup.
So it didn't work out.
No, unfortunately.
You experiment. That's how you learn.
Yeah, right? But this is my second flush.
Okay.
So this isn't even the first flush. So off of each of these kits, I've already gotten like 2 pounds off each one. You can get between 2 to 4 flushes.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so it's really.
And this good. You grow this stuff inside too, or
yeah, it's all inside.
Yeah,
nice. Yeah, just grow it on your kitchen, in your bedroom. I had one growing in my bedroom at first.
Okay.
Yeah, because I wanted to have the not bright light, and my place is all south-facing windows.
Okay.
But my bedroom has an overhang over the window, so I grew it in my bedroom on top of the fireplace. And now I have them at the store. Honestly, I've grown so many of these things. It's so much fun.
Well, I'll take one, and then I'm going to open my mouth and insert foot, but maybe I'll have to document it. My journey with my first mushroom.
Yeah, these ones. Like I'll give you one to take home and eat. But yeah, the event is also going to be. It's going to be in person. Only 10 people here. Yeah. But it's going to be live across Canada and U.S. So we're also going to be going live on our YouTube channel. That's what she grows. And answering all the questions remotely online.
Oh,
and we're
nice.
all going to be setting them up together.
You've really utilized social media. And as a social media guy, I always like to see people doing that. Did you just say, I'm learning how to do this? Or how did you learn to utilize the social media? You just did?
Honestly, I think you have to enjoy it. Like,
Yeah,
you can't just be like, oh, people are making it big on social media. I want to do this. I'm really shy and I like to challenge
sure you
myself.
are.
I actually am. But like before I get on camera and stuff, I get really nervous. I do talk naturally and very freely, and I don't like hold myself back, but that's part of social media is being your
Right.
true authentic self.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's a learning curve too, right? Like I would go on social media, and if you watch my old YouTube channel, it's like from the beginning, I'm very nervous. Like I'm just laughing the whole time, which is kind of the charm in it. I I have something I'm gonna say in my head, but then I say something completely stupid. I sound like I don't know what I'm talking about. It's hilarious. I use like a butcher knife to like cut plants apart. In the one I was separating a snake plant. I literally just like, well, here we go, and I just chop the whole root off. I'm like, no holds barred, you know. I have fun with it.
Well, that's
And
kind of the key to it all, isn't it?
yeah, and I don't really care about like growing my thing to being like super famous or popular. I don't ever think that's going to be me. Like, I don't ever think anyone's going to be like, she's famous. Like, that's
Right.
not, I just do it for fun. The YouTube channel started off during COVID. I was doing unboxings at home for myself personally, like not recording, of like thousands of dollars of plants because what does a plant hoarder do when you have nothing else to do? You buy
You buy more
you
plants?
buy more plants. And if someone else doesn't have it, I want it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is how that works. I keep all the really special stuff in the back for really avid collectors. If so, people usually come in
You like
and
that jewelry store where you're like, wow, this is good stuff, but right here, this is the really good stuff.
the really good stuff is usually in the back and not on our website.
There you
So if
go.
someone is like, I love syngoniums, I'm like, oh, what syngoniums do you have? They tell me ones that they have. I'm like, I know one that I have that you don't. And because for me, it's like a child. And
Right.
I'm like, if I'm parting with this child, I want it to go to the perfect home to someone that I know like absolutely wants this.
That's cool.
Because I spend a lot of time in Cary importing them and
Yes.
stuff. So we do
Yeah,
have,
because you've got another location where you actually grow and that's where you do your all your exchanges and stuff.
absolutely. We have actually another partnership with Zip Grow, which is our Zip Grow wall. Those who have seen our other store in Davis, it's floor to ceilings, rare plants galore. There's a lot of really cool stuff on there that people don't even know or realize. Like there's a lot of really cool stuff on there. People just see the big variegated monsteras, but there's a lot cooler plants on that wall.
Nice.
ZipGrow is a hydroponic growing company for
Okay.
like fruits and vegetables. And I challenged them at Growers Day a couple of years ago when I met them. I was like, I want to try and grow my aroids on this because aroids have very thick, chunky roots. They grow all over the place. Um, and that's how they hold on to things. And I wanted to see if their system would hold up to it. My goodness, did it not only hold up to it, it excelled. The plants grew so much faster on this, and they really rooted into it. And these leaves, these variegated monstera leaves are like this big.
Wow.
I'm at the point I need to take them off, and I just don't even know how I'm going to do it. I'm waiting for it to get more humid outside,
Okay.
so that when I chop them off, they're going to be set up for success. But
Mhm.
so if anyone needs an indoor hydroponic growing system, they do have commercial growing kits as well as residential growing kits with ZipGrow. You can do ornamentals or you can do food.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit more about the entrepreneurial side of you. Like, what's that journey been like for you as far as, like it sounds like you did some research. You mentioned like we talked about the demographics for the area earlier. And what do you find the most challenging about being an entrepreneur? And part two to that, what keeps you going or growing, I should say?
I never thought that I was going to be an entrepreneur. Like it never crossed my mind. When I was a kid, I wanted to be a veterinarian until I realized you had to put needles in things. And I was like, ugh. I'm not fine with it now. But as a kid, you're like, I don't want to hurt them.
Right.
So entrepreneurship kind of just fell in my lap. My friends during COVID, because I started the YouTube channel for fun. My neighbor was like, hey, I want to edit a YouTube channel. Do you want to record? And I was like, no. Like, okay, if you'll edit it, then we'll do this, right? So it was like a collaboration. It was kind of fun during COVID. And then my other friends in Detroit, Kristen and Christina, were like, Nikki, you just need to open your own plant store. I couldn't even have people over at my house. I had so many freaking plants. on the floors, on the counters, everywhere. Like you could, I had to like tippy toe through like my kitchen.
Oh wow.
There was so many. Like I didn't have cats at the time. I didn't have any pets. There was so many plants. My friends are like, Nikki, you got to sell your plants, but they're like my children. I'm like, I can't. So they bullied me into opening a plant store. I was in school for real estate.
Really?
Yeah, I actually went through the whole course, but there was an issue at the end of the course where Humber was taking like months in order to schedule the exams. I try and schedule the exam, and then they're like, oh, there was a security breach, so you have to reschedule. It'd be like another month out.
Mm.
And then
did you ever complete that? Did you get that?
no, because they took so long. I told the dean, I emailed her, and I was like, this isn't right. Like you're having system issues. And then this is affecting my schooling. I've done all of the courses. I was literally just waiting to do the last one. And you're making me wait months and months and months. And then you have a system failure or a security breach or whatever, because everything was remote at that time during COVID.
Right.
And I told her, I was like, I can open a whole business in the time it takes to do this one exam. And out of spite, I was like, bet. My friends told me to open a store. And then I have a business partner actually in North Vancouver who he funded the store.
Okay.
Bless his heart, because without him, we would have gone under many times over. Yeah, so he's really been a lifesaver, but and really great for mentorship and helps keep me in line. And yeah, so there's a lot of different changes. Entrepreneurship is not for the faint of heart.
Mm-hmm.
Some days you just want to cry,
right?
As my friends know. I'm like, ah. And then some days you're just so happy to work with the community and be so thankful. I feel so thankful most of the time.
Yeah.
Most of the time, I would say 99% of the time, I'm so thankful for working in the community and getting the opportunity to meet people like you.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And right, like if it wasn't for the store, we probably would have met.
No, like, because I remember it was with Big Brothers, Big Sisters event.
The cornhole tournament?
No, the lemonade.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry. Kaylin's going to shoot me for forgetting the name of it, but...
the Big Squeeze.
The Big Squeeze, that's right. And that was around here, and you're a big participant in that. And then Jennifer was like, oh, I want to go into that store because she wanted something for her aquarium. And then I popped in here, and one other time Matt McNeil was in here playing with the Sphynx. And so, but we never really we knew who each other was, kind of thing, I think it was. And then I was like, I've been following along on your Instagram and Facebook, etc. And I'm like, this girl's really interesting, and she's got such a positive outlook, it seems, on life, and as you call it, your weirdness. I don't think you're weird, but all of that, and then I was like, I just got to sit down with this girl, because I just knew you would have. I like the positive, right? Like I like the positive. I like the mindsets, and here we are, right? And I'm really grateful. I feel like we're gonna do something in the future together.
Absolutely.
I don't know what it is yet,
yeah.
but I get that vibe, right? And maybe I'm gonna learn how to grow plants. I don't know.
Grow mushrooms. We got you and Jennifer out to our mushroom growing event.
Right?
Yeah. It's gonna be so
That'll be fun. That's unique. You call yourself weird, but you're unique. And that's what we need more of, different things happening,
Yeah, like the beneficial of the nutrients that you're getting from these quality mushrooms is far surpasses anything you get from the store. They're cleaner, they're not covered in dirt when you harvest them, and we need to really up our nutrient intake. I'm really I think our minds and bodies and wellness is so important, as they say, physiology first, and having a good positive mindset. And actually bringing to that, I had a blood analysis done the other day.
Oh.
With Joanne at Ish Nutrition. And I was kind of nervous, and I was like, I don't know about this. So they study your blood under a microscope, and they could tell me what I'm deficient in. They're like, we can tell on this that you're stressed and you have a lot of inflammation in your body. I'm
really?
Like, yeah. And then they give you a protocol of like healthy, natural ways to. I was like, well, of course I'm stressed. It's the day of my event.
Right. So, and then I got to get in front of the camera the next day.
Right? Oh yeah, it's been a crazy busy week. But yeah, I'm like, I like supporting health and nutrition and mental health, and I am not the spokesperson for like health and nutrition and mental health. But I think that if we get 1% better a day, then you just need to do like that 1% better or that 2-degree shift, and your whole world will change.
Yeah, I agree.
So it's just
I say get one, if and working on ourselves, if we can get just 1% better every day.
Yep.
Imagine what we'll be like at the end of the year, 6 months even, right? So, Nikki, I wish I had more time. I tell you, I think we're going to have to do this again. But thank you so much for welcoming all of us into your space here and sharing your. I don't think you're weird, but okay. I think you're very genuine and unique, and that's we need a lot of that all over the planet. Plant it. And shout out to our friend Eric, who went and got us Blackwater coffee. Of course, you guys know I love that space. And you can come down to That's What She Grows and go on Facebook and Instagram and follow Nikki Amber there. And we're going to maybe have some more cotton candy. I don't know, right? But that's all the time we've got right now. But you know what I always say, click the like, the love, but click the share button so we can share Nikki's story and everybody else. But that's all the time I got for you this week. Have a great week and an even better weekend. We will see you next time right here on the show. Bye-bye for now.
Love you.
And that's it. Easy peasy. You're all done.
High five.
There we go.
I think that turned out phenomenal.